Do you know what a vodcast is? Well, Podcast Magazine recently interviewed a couple of podcasters about their thoughts on what a vodcast is. So, let's get into it. Okay, so it's come to my attention that recently Podcast Magazine interviewed a couple of podcasters about what they thought a vodcast is. They wrote an article in the November issue of Podcast Magazine. Now, I have nothing against Podcast Magazine. I love Podcast Magazine because they're always giving out some really great content. They're always trying to help. They have a Hot 50 list of voting that your audience can vote on their favorite shows. And it's not about statistics. It's not about numbers. It's just about who the audience listens to and who their favorite is. And anybody can get on the top 50, not just Joe Rogan. So Podcast Magazine recently tweeted me asking me if I had read their article in the November issue. And I read it, and I think it's a great article. I really do. But I do think that there is still a little confusion as to what a vodcast is, which is the purpose behind me making this episode. When they asked one podcaster about vodcasting, about the difference between a vodcast and a vlog, he said, vodcasting is a different kind of energy. On YouTube, I'm constantly fighting to keep the attention of the audience, but with my vodcast, it's much more relaxed. I'm just there to learn something about who the people I interview are. And that's a great way to look at it. And he went on to explain that the true difference between his vlog and his vodcast is the intent of the audience when they tune in. They come for the purpose of hearing a story, and they want to learn something about the guest as well. So, in my mind, it seems that this podcaster is maybe still a little bit confused on what a vodcast is, because he thinks that his audience watches his vodcast with the intent of hearing a story, and they want to learn something about the guest. Now, they can do that normally on your regular podcast. See, I think what he was trying to refer to is that it creates a connection with the audience, and the audience actually gets a chance to see the podcaster, and they get the chance to see the guest. So there is a connection, yes. So I kind of see where this one podcaster was getting at. Another podcaster was asked what the difference is, and she noted that the difference between a podcast and a vodcast is akin to the difference she feels between interviewing her guest on Zoom versus in person in the studio. The emotion and energy you get from being together is far greater than if the person is just a face on the screen. Vodcasting over podcasting, she observed, is about seeing people's reactions, the excitement and joy in their faces, in addition to hearing their words convey so much more to the audience. I think that's a really great purpose for wanting to vodcast, but I think that the true definition of a vodcast is recording your podcast episode on video to later edit and add graphics and release at a later date, let's say on YouTube or Vimeo. And I know you guys have heard me talk about this a couple times before, but a vodcast is really just video content that's made to release at a later date, but it's the exact same content of your podcast. Okay, opposed to live streaming, where live streaming is maybe an extension of your podcast that you do live on social media, and you don't edit it, you don't release it later at a time, it's just live and that's that. But a vodcast is something that's recorded, it's pre-recorded, and you release at a later time. That's the exact copy of your podcast. Anything beyond that is just vlogging. Like if you're going to make some content about you walking around your house, with your family, or you on an excursion somewhere on vacation, that's vlogging. But you can also create extra content for your podcast. You can do episode recaps. You can do bonus material that you didn't get to include in your actual podcast episode. So that's what I think the definition of a vodcast. Now, Podcast Magazine is not sponsoring this video. I don't think they even know that I'm doing this video or this episode. But at the same time, Podcast Magazine is awesome. They didn't get the facts wrong. They're just trying to dig deeper into what vodcasting is, and I love that. It was a great article, guys. I really loved it. But anybody listening, Podcast Magazine has an app. So head on over to your app store, download it. It's free. The issues, you can download every single issue every month. It's free. And if you want more information and voting on the Hot 50, head on over to podcastmagazine.com. All right, guys, that's it for me. Head on over to VodSquad.Live if you want more information on vodcasting, vodcasting courses, live streaming courses. I have a free episode planning sheet and vodcasting equipment guide free on the website. So head on over to VodSquad.Live and download that stuff and sign up for the course. And VOD TV is actually coming out really, really awesome. VOD TV, I'm creating a Roku channel, a Fire TV stick, and an Apple TV channel for vodcasters. So if you guys want to support the GoFundMe of VOD TV, head on over to gofundme.com/VOD TV and help me get this thing started. I'm really excited to help promote and get you guys on a brand new platform, literally exposed to millions of people. So let's get on board and let's get this thing going. All right, guys, I'll see you next time.